Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Snippet Podcast. Damn, it feels like a while since we've done the last episode. But yeah, we're back and today we're going to be speaking about pornography and masturbation. Is it worth it? I'm joined once again by my lovely co-host, Mr. Raf. Rafi, how are you doing, sir?
Yo, we're all good in the hood. And yes, just to touch on what James said, we have been gone for a while. We do apologise. We've been dealing with other commitments and a couple of other things. But we're back and we're going to...
apologise to our 20 viewers.
Yes, we apologise to all 20 of you. But thank you for 20 people that stuck by us. But yes, we're back. And this one's going to be a bit of an interesting one, as you can tell already by the title. But JB, tell them what go on.
Yeah, man. So, as previously said, we're talking about porn and masturbation, and we can basically speak about the pros and cons of both. So, you know, is it okay to watch porn? You know, does it reduce chances of getting prostate cancer? And all these sorts of things. We'll touch on all these throughout the podcast. I think the reason why me and Raf wanted to speak about this was because we've both kind of gone through a period of abstaining from watching porn and masturbation, and we'll speak about that as well in this podcast. And you know, there's a big kind of trend of people basically abstaining from it. So I think it would be a good thing to talk about, Raf.
Yes, I agree. And you know, this is one of the things that happens in life, and it would be good to shed some light on it and see what we can do by talking about it.
Cool. So yeah, let's jump straight into it.
Yes.
So, where should we start? I guess we can start with, do you masturbate, Raf?
Yes. But do you masturbate, James? Do you masturbate?
Yes, mate. Yes, I do.
You know what? Yeah, it's. I don't want you lot to feel like it's going to be a bit awkward because, like we mentioned already, it is something that, you know, people do. People do it in their life. You know, it's a sort of thing that, you know, teenagers go through. You know, going through that that period of your life where you're like, you want to explore the, you know, and all that stuff, and then you know, you see a very attractive actress, for example, or you see like a model that you like, or you know, you like a girl at school or a boy at school, and you guys feel like, you know what, I want to close my door, and yeah. But I tell you what, let's hit it with the pros and cons first, and let's see what we can do with that.
Do you know what, I was thinking about starting with that, but I don't want to generalize it too much either. I think it'd be good if we both just speak purely from experience.
Yes.
Because then it sounds less scripty, and we can kind of just
cool. We can do that.
Based off of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, cool. Do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first?
You can go first, Raf. All
right, cool. Right, I'll tell you a little story, people. Yeah, one day, you know, I saw. I remember. Yeah, jeez, it's gonna sound really awkward. I remember when myself and JB used to play Xbox, and then there would be like the different themes you can get on Xbox 360, and one of the themes was of the model Keely Hazel. Do you remember that, Jay?
Keely Hazel?
Keely Hazel, you might remember it. It was one of their dashboard themes, yeah, on Xbox. And I remember looking at that photo and I was like, okay, I'm going to put it on my background, you know, because, you know, little boy, you like to have your little posters and all that stuff of women think you're cool and that.
I'm Googling it right now.
Yeah, you Google it. Type in Keely Hazel Xbox theme. It's like her lying down or something. I'm going to try and find it as well while we're doing it. But at the same time, yeah, I discovered that and I was like, oh, who is that lady? I want to find out more about her and stuff like that. Do you remember that theme?
Okay. Yeah. I know exactly
it was I think it was the Lynx theme or something like that. Yes, the Lynx one.
Yeah, that I know what about. Yeah.
And it's it was one of them times I was looking at it and I was like, crap, man, I'm feeling a bit of a sensation. I want to, like, you know, want to see how it goes. And that's when I essentially had, like, you know, I experimented and had my wank. And I was thinking to myself, you know what, yeah, at first it felt good. And then you're like, oh, God, it's getting to the end now where, you know, you got to do that bit. And then, like, it's just a whole blur. Like, what happened? Everything's done now. Why have I got all of this shit on the floor or on my tissue or whatever and all that stuff? And at the end of it, it's just a lady laying down as an Xbox theme, and it's just a bit like,
Yeah. Do you know, it's funny you say that, because I think I was watching Joe Rogan's podcast on the post-nut syndrome, and it's just like this feeling of pure emptiness that
Yes.
only men can truly understand. Like, if there are any women listening to this or have listened to the Joe Rogan podcast, they just wouldn't understand this feeling of like nothingness and almost shame after you've actually masturbated.
It's a very funny one as well, because like, you know, we'll get onto it a little bit later on, but when you're doing it and then like you're so zoned out, and then you're in that moment where you're like, oh, I'm loving this, I'm feeling this sensation and everything, and we'll talk about the pornographical side after that as well. But it's you know, I'm sure we can all agree, lads and ladies, that when you're doing it, it feels good. You know, you're getting a buzz of it, and it's like, oh god, this must feel like sex. I'm loving it. But it's like it's far from that. It's a bit different. But yeah. What about you, Jay? You jump on yours.
Yeah, well, just to touch on that last point you made there as well. I mean, yeah, it feels good, and this, I suppose, this touches in the pros of doing it, and like it's a big stress reliever as well, I guess.
Yes.
You know, if you've got a lot going on. Well, I mean, people. This is the thing. That's also quite subjective, I think. People might say it's not a stress reliever. It's just like a quick,
you know,
way
time
to release
some sort of like tension or whatever.
Like, or people could say it's the equivalent to, like, you know, almost like taking a drug or some shit. You know what I mean? It's like it's a release. It's a quick temporary release from the chaos that we experience in society or whatever, right? But yeah, I mean, so my opinions on whether porn and masturbation is worth it is, I don't think it is good for you long term. I really don't, and it's weird saying that to me, because before even coming on this podcast, I was like, I'm going to come to this podcast and I'm going to say porn and masturbation is inherently bad, and I know it's bad, but I do it, and I do it, and it's like, it's mad, and it's pretty much insane when you think about it. You're doing something which you know is inherently bad, at least in my own opinion, and yet I keep doing it.
No,
and there are levels to this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, man.
But yeah, so I'll talk about. So okay, so I came across the NoFap movement, which is, as I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, is like this. It's a community of people who are essentially abstaining from pornography and masturbation to essentially better their lives in many ways, which we'll discuss about. And I looked at it and I thought, you know what, that seems, everything about it seems perfect. You know, you can tick so many boxes and improve your life in so many ways. And I thought I'd give it a go. And let's just say that this is a continual journey, by the way. I haven't started it and stopped it by any means. And it's hard. It's extremely hard. You learn a lot about yourself on the way. And you know, my longest streak of abstaining from masturbation, not necessarily porn, is 19 days. And
fair play.
Long story short, in those 19 days, I learned a lot. So firstly, fucking hell, you get a lot of urges to masturbate. Like, oh my god, a lot of urges. But that can also be good, because I remember watching this video recently about how whenever you get an urge and you beat that urge, you don't succumb to it, you're essentially one step in the better direction. And it's like one small rewiring of your brain in the better direction, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's the same with anything, right? As long as you keep doing something over and over and over, you can rewire your brain to keep doing that thing, and then you get used to it. And it's exactly the same with pornography and masturbation. If you abstain from that, you can rewire your brain not to watch it. But it's freaking hard. It takes a long time.
Very, man, very.
Like what I've noticed is a lot of people say they see huge changes after a few days, and they don't need to watch porn anymore, and they've beat it and stuff. In my case, that's certainly not it. And it kind of just went to show, like, my brain is not that I've corrupted the bad word, but
misjudgmental.
But yeah, man, like so during this 19 days, sorry, I'm speaking for ages, but yeah, like during the 19 days, like I would still peek at pornography, I would watch it, but I wouldn't masturbate to it.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like,
Yeah, it's a
even
bit.
then,
He just wants,
even then, I would be like, right, I'm gonna peek at it. I'm gonna look at it just to kind of like make my brain happy, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But why the hell would I do that? It's only gonna lead.
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Why would I do that? And I'll tell you what, I've done it so many times, and after each time, I would always say, right, I've learned from it. I'm not gonna do it again. But I do it again, and it's stupid, and I keep freaking doing it, and I need to stop that.
It's the urge.
Yeah, and I was doing something called edging as well. Edging is where you're essentially masturbating, but you don't actually ejaculate, so you're still technically on the nofap streak, although some other people say you're not. So during the 19 days as well, I was, in short, I felt like I was a lot more productive. I did a lot of journaling as well each day, just generally about life, what's going on. And my general awareness improved, I think, as well.
That's good. That's good.
So yeah, I've said a lot of things there, Raf.
Well, I'll go on about my current situation then, because just before we started the call, I was mentioning about obviously how we were going to talk about today's topic, and ever since we came back from Amsterdam, for those of you who don't know, myself, James, and another one of our mates went to Amsterdam recently, and we had a lot of fun coming home. But yeah, that's a different topic for a different video. We as soon as we came back, I was thinking to myself, you know what, yeah. Like, I had a good thought about what you were saying, and in the long run, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this, yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. First day when we came back, I was like, right. I would load it up, and I'm thinking, am I gonna do this? And then I don't know what it was, but I was like, no, I need to firm myself, and I need to make sure that I stick by this because I want to see a different change. And you know what? Ever since I've been doing that, I've noticed that I've had better productivity. I don't feel the sense now to just be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna whip and zip it out and do something like that. Do you know what I mean? And it really opened my eyes because it reminded me back when I was, for example, back in a relationship. And when I was in a relationship, obviously it's completely different from having masturbation and then having sex. But then, let's say, for example, if I wasn't having sex, I wouldn't feel the need to be like, oh, I really, really want to do it right now and I'm going to have a wank. But I'm feeling like that again because I didn't feel the need to do it. And I had that massive break where I didn't do it. And now it's coming back to me, and I'm thinking to myself, this is actually really beneficial. And I'm like looking at the whole judgment that I took forward with this decision, and it reminds me of back in the day, basically, when essentially, like, I used to bite my nails, and then I stopped biting my nails, and then I've now grown long, healthy nails that I cut, you know, every whenever, and it's just reminded me of that perseverance bit.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, there's another couple of things that really did bring it up as well from when you were talking about it, and you were talking to me about. I remember you were talking about Coach Red Pill and the NoFap community, and I was thinking to myself, there's so many people that obviously, you know, they're in the porn industry and they do it like that. It's their job because they're an actress or an actor, and then there's some people that watch it and then they stop doing it and they think it's not worth it. And I'm thinking to myself, blimey, it's a big switch around because obviously when you're younger and you're in your teen and you're going through, you know, puberty and stuff like that, it starts to kick in. You're like, you know what, I wanna do this. Oh yeah, I'm off with a wank. Oh, you're a wanker and all that stuff and all that shit. Oh, I'll have to wank over her and all that stuff, or him. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, we're really old now and times are changing, bro. Times have changed a lot. But like, I haven't done it for about, I haven't actually been keeping record, but I've been keeping record of the weeks. I'll probably say about 2.5, 3 weeks now, and I feel. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's all thanks to you. Like you opened my mindset about it. Like
it's a journey for yourself.
Yeah, I know, but like, you know, we were talking about it, and I was thinking, you know what, I am going to try and see if I can embark on this new journey, and it's been good. I've been coming home. I've been doing my stuff. I've been, you know, getting on with my chores and my other bits and bobs and commitments, and then when I finish, I just get in bed, watch some YouTube videos, read a little bit, you know, say a prayer and that, and then that's it. I don't feel the need to be like, right, I'm going to search, you know, Asian booty, shake it all around about, and all that stuff and all that, because I'm like, it's not worth it. For me right now, I don't think it's worth it. And there's a lot of other aspects that have been put into place, but we'll talk about that later on. But yeah, it's so far going well.
Yeah, that's really good, man. That's super interesting as well, because you said just at the beginning of that, you kind of had the same experience as me, where you would load up, say, I don't know, whatever pornographic website, and you would have the urge, and you'd kind of, what you were saying was you would kind of peek at it momentarily, but then you had the strength to actually come off it, or did you succumb to it at all during this?
Well, during back in the time before we had like this whole conversation, I was thinking about, I would turn it on and I'd be like, "I'll go on then, a quick one, blah, 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 that's it, yeah." And then I'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna have another one tomorrow," and it happens, and I'm like, "All right, I won't do it tomorrow," and then the day after I would. But then obviously since then we came back, I loaded it up and I was like, "Nah, this ain't it." Closed it. I was like, you know what, I could be doing better things. I could be, you know, making a video, or I could be getting on with some self projects that I want to work on, or flipping heck, I could be playing a game. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to be worrying about this shit right now, because like at the end of the day, it will link to my other points later on, but at the end of the day, it's just a big, like, I wouldn't say it's a how can I explain it? It's just a bit, it's weird, bruv. It's weird for me trying to explain it, because I don't know how to explain it, because, you know, when you're in that situation, you just relate to it instantly. But God,
yeah, I mean, listen.
What a topic.
But both of us aren't experts in this field by any chance. I mean, both of us haven't even made it to a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you were saying before about, so yeah, you said you were more productive and you might play a game or something like that. Was there anything specifically that you achieved, or is it just a general kind of productivity boost that you've?
I think it was more of a productivity boost, and like, you know, because I work late every so often, I would come home and I'm like, oh, I'm really stressed, I want to do a wank instead. But instead I would focus on some other things, like, for example, my own YouTube channel, or we'll be working our own thing, or like, you know, just learning some new things online, reading. It would just be, a whole bunch of productivity, and it improved. Like, I'll be going to bed much earlier, because obviously when you finish it, it'll be God knows what time o'clock in the morning. You have to go and clean up, then go to bed, and then you wake up, you're drained, and you're like, oh God. But I've noticed that obviously, even though I have started my new job, I'll be changing my sleep schedule and everything, and my diet and everything as well. But I've noticed that I wouldn't have to worry about feeling drained in the morning, because my arm's throbbing from what I was doing the night before. Do you know what I mean? It's bare weird, bruv. But like, yeah.
So do you think the abstinence has actually helped towards your sleeping schedule?
Yeah, it has, definitely, because I would do it and then it would be late. It would be like, let's say for example, like 1 o'clock or something, and then obviously I got to wake up at 6 and get to work for 8 o'clock, and I'm thinking, nah man, I can't run on 5 hours sleep, I need more. And on top of it, you know, it takes time to get up, clean up, get into bed, then actually try and fall asleep, because you're wide awake now, because you've just released all of this flipping, you know, like sperm everywhere and everything. And it's just like, it was a bit of an energy killer,
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Although I have a different experience, which is when I masturbate the night before. I tend to need to have a piss in the middle of the night. Like, my bladder just activates itself. It's really strange.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one.
I don't know if that's just me. I haven't actually researched that, but
I've had to do the same before. I've had to do the same. I wake up in the middle of the night. And
okay, so it's limited. Yeah, so when I abstain, I find that I don't need to wake up in the middle of the night, or just as I'm dropping off, like I feel like I would need a piss if I've masturbated. So yeah, it's strange. I'd have to research more into that one, but yeah, that's just for me personally. But yeah, that's interesting. What else I found when I abstained was that my performance in the bedroom was a lot better. A lot better.
Yeah.
For a couple of reasons. Firstly, like, after like even a few days of abstaining, mate, you get like such this natural hard rock on.
Yeah, I
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and it doesn't feel forced, and like it's just yeah.
It feels so much more natural. You don't have any struggles getting it up. And this is the thing, man. Like, when I was in a relationship, I would masturbate during that relationship, and if I did it close to when I was going to be having sex, it would affect me, because the orgasm wouldn't be as good. Sometimes I just wouldn't be able to get it up. Sometimes it would just flop during.
It
was just like, it was dead, man. It wouldn't make her feel good.
Yeah.
Myself feel good.
It'd be like a Simon in betweeners moment again. What is wrong with you, little ugly shit? But yeah, literally.
And do you know what? There is a myth like about you get all of this in conversations about I lasted half an hour, 45 minutes in bed. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
Well, it must be dead then. A lot of people say no, you must be doing it wrong if you can't last that much. Nah, man, you're just chatting shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not masturbating,
Mm.
your sex is going to be freaking good, and it's going to be really, really quick because
Yeah.
your body is going to want to release really quickly.
Exactly. And
You know
then
what I
more
mean?
and then the more you do it, the more you sustain it and everything. Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, man, I think that's a huge thing, a very, very big thing actually, because you find a lot of people are so attached to pornography. I suppose this is coming into the topic of whether pornography is bad now as well. They're so attached to pornography that when they actually come to the real situation, they literally cannot perform. Their penis doesn't go up, and they're worrying so much about what moves they need to be doing in bed that they just completely flop.
Yeah.
No pun intended there.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? Though?
Yeah, it is interesting. Very interesting.
But yeah, it happens to a lot of people, and the thing is as well. My friend was mentioning this before we're recording this podcast. He mentioned something really, really good, which is that we live in a time now where everything is so freaking accessible. Like pornography is so readily accessible, and so readily accessible to younger people as well, which is so scary because people that are aged, freaking 9-10 can access it, and then start
scary,
wiring their brains so earlier on, become so attached to it, and they see all of these freaking unrealistic moves that these porn stars are doing. And they think they need to be doing this to actually be good at sex, but it's completely wrong. It's completely false. And they see all of these massive penises, and they see these vaginas, and they think
these
this is
big ass tits and everything. Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's completely wrong. Like sex is meant to be intimate. It's meant to be close,
and passionate and all that. Yeah,
and passionate and loving and all this stuff. And you know what? I guess I'm guilty of it. Like I watch porn, and I'm slowly coming to my senses now that this is not what it's supposed to be, but it's wired in your brain that it's how it should be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, man, I agree. And like back when I was watching it as well, it would be just like in the moment you're like, oh yeah, look at her. And actually, you know what, I tell you what, this would be a good time to bring up the topic that I want to speak about, actually, to do with porn, because I remember we were speaking about this before, but I watched a video by A online, and he was talking about porn, and he was like, why do you watch porn? He was asking his audience, why do you watch porn? What? Because it feels good, you feel like you're doing this. But he put a big picture in my head, and you know what? It is the utter truth. Literally, it's us watching another guy getting the relief of it, or maybe, like, for example, like same sex for whatever category you want to watch, and then we're just watching it, and we're literally just imagining ourselves to be that person that is feeling the actual real thing.
I know what you're talking about, actually.
Yeah, that video. And I thought to myself, bro, wow, you know what? You really put my perspective on it. I'm gonna try my best not to do that anymore. And obviously, I'll be honest, it didn't work. It actually didn't work, because I'll come home from work, I'll be like, I'm bare annoyed, or I'm stressed, or like, you're tired, and you just wouldn't, like, you get a quiet moment in your room, and I'm like, you know what, alright, come on, let's put one quick one on, have a quick one. And I was thinking to myself, you know what, A online, you did like mention some really good stuff, but I can't stick to it. And then after some time, I watched that video back again, I listened to what he said, and I was like, you know what, he's spitting facts, man. Like, how am I gonna be wanking over this girl, giving this other guy slop, when I'm imagining myself as it, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself,
he's
you know
purely
what?
just he's purely saying it is just absolutely absurd.
Literally.
Imagine yourself watching yourself from the outside.
Yeah.
Looking at porn, you'd be thinking, what the hell are you doing?
Bare
you know
weird.
what I mean?
Like, what? I'm gonna wank over myself? Nah, man, I'm not doing that. But he put a really big perception on it, and I was like, you know what? That's probably why, like, a lot of people don't do it as well, because they think, what? I'm gonna be imagining myself to be on a video where people are doing it and stuff. Like, for example, let's say if it was like, I don't know, 2 lesbians doing it, and you're like, oh yeah, it's turning me on that these 2 girls are doing it. Then okay, that's a bit of a, I mean, it's the same aspect, but it's got a different avenue to it. But like, if it's a guy, for example, getting a blowjob or something, yeah, and you're imagining yourself to be in that space, nah, man, it just, do you know what I mean? It's just so weird.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't know. To me, I think both variants
Yeah.
of what you've said there are just as bad as each other, to be honest.
yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, no, I think you made a good point there. A Online made some really good points. Like, speaking of YouTubers as well. So you mentioned Coach Red Pill, and you know, he's a very knowledgeable and wise man, and he does a lot of. Basically, this guy does a lot of videos on improving. It's targeted at young men, basically.
Yeah.
A lot of young men watch his YouTube channel, and basically does a lot of videos on improving young men's lives, basically. And one of his videos was on watching pornography, and he says it's so incredibly detrimental, because he was saying when he was young, because he's 51 now, when he said he was young, he thought no better as well. He thought, oh, what's the worst that can happen? You know, it's watching porn. They're both consenting to it. I'm just in my room privately masturbating, right? What could go so wrong? But it does, because it's touching on what we both spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
It can rewire your brain, and you expect what is so unrealistic.
Yeah, it's really,
and it
really,
damages your brain. It
Yeah,
completely rewires it, and it's not good.
Like, yeah, go on, after you.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention a guy called Terry Crews as well. Freaking massive actor in America, and he has a couple of videos which he's uploaded on his personal experience of masturbation and porn, and he had porn addiction. Just like anyone can have it, man. And even these top stars who are earning millions of pounds, you know, everyone has their problems, and he was basically saying it almost ruined his marriage, because like his wife knew that he was excessively masturbating and watching porn all the time, and it was ruining the intimacy between those two and their whole family as a result. And she was saying, if this keeps happening, you have to leave. And that was a turning point for him. And he, you know, I'd recommend to you, Raf, and also the people watching to listen to his experience. It's really, really good and eye-opening.
No, but definitely, I agree. I'm going to definitely make sure. And guys, just because we're talking about this topic, we don't want you to be put off it. I mean, you got to make your own decisions as well. Yeah, we're only just speaking about our experiences and what knowledge has been put out there from other people as well. But yes, in terms of like, how should we say it? Experiences. What would you say is? Have you got any experiences when masturbating or watching pornography, Jay? Like any awkward ones, or ones where you're just like, or...
Well, yeah, I guess so, because this is another conversation, which is the stuff that you masturbate over as well.
Yeah.
Just... I won't go into fine details of that one, but generally speaking, like, you watch some of these videos which are just so freaking absurd, man. Like the titles of the videos and like what you're actually watching is just, it's strange.
It's really weird. And do you know what the thing is though? Like, with these videos out, like, people do this for their job and their living, yeah. And I'm thinking, how are they operating? How are they functioning? Because like, they go out, for example, they relieve so much out of their body, and then they do exactly the same thing tomorrow with a different person, and it's just like, I mean, obviously in the porn industry, from what I've heard, there's people that get paid a lot of money.
Well, that's it, innit?
A lot of money. But then, I mean, with that money, they could probably, you know, use it for insurance or whatever, like for their health and stuff. But it's just so crazy how, like, you know, they do it for God knows how long. You see these porn videos, they last about 10 to like 25 minutes, and you're thinking, oh gosh, they're going for that amount of time. And then you get like these compilations for like an hour, and I'm thinking, who's going to really sit there for a whole hour looking at like some girl getting jizzed on, and just thinking, shit, I'm going to wank over it. But yeah, it is crazy. I mean, to touch on this, like, there's been like reports about you know, people that actually create Patreons and OnlyFans account that actually promote like nudity and explicit content on there for people. And I don't know if you heard about this recently, Jay, but there was a massive leak and breach in the database for OnlyFans. So about loads of thousands of creators got exposed, and people could access their content for free instead of actually having to purchase it or Patreon towards it. And people were starting to reconsider actually doing this stuff because, you know, people make a living for like taking, like, for example, a nude and like an explicit picture for it then to get leaked, and people were like, am I really going to be following this path to keep making an income, or should I do something different now, or maybe should I utilize it in a skill? And it was just like, bro, people, man, like, the people that managed to hack that, like, you guys are some wizards in itself, but like,
it's interesting as well because you mentioned like just explicit photos and stuff and people getting paid by it. Like Instagram is the freaking
gosh, mate,
the main nest for all of this stuff going on. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
And you kind of, I've gotten to that stage now where I feel sorry for the women actually doing this as well, because you know, they're probably getting paid a fuck ton of money, but all they're really doing is just exposing themselves as an object, and that's it. They're getting paid to be an object, and that's their life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you know, Instagram is you've got millions of young people using it, and it's another gateway into pornography as well.
I mean, like, you got all these younger kids as well. Like, to add on to what you're saying, you get like all these kids that, you know, create a brand new Instagram account, and like they see a really hot lady, and then another one comes in there recommended, and before you know it, they're going to be following like tons and tons of models that are like explicit. Like, don't get me wrong, like we're all bound to it. Like, look, for an example, like look at Demi Rose, for example. She's a model, she's a DJ. Everyone loves Demi Rose, and they all follow her. And then when she posts a picture, everyone's liking it. And then who else? Like, for example, like Halle Berry, or like just a really, really well-known actress that is also well-known for modeling, and like they've got this amazing quote-unquote legit figure, and you know, like,
well, that's it, Raf, though. You say, that's exactly it. It's quote-unquote, man. Like, a lot of these photos are purely just fucking fabricated, man. Like, absolute nonsense. A lot of these people on Instagram just don't even look like what they look like in real life.
Exactly.
And it just going back to my point before, I think it's a gateway to pornography, and also another way of just generally stimulating the mind in the wrong direction, really.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, we can only decide on what choices we want to make. But like, guys, as we mentioned before, like we're not trying to put you off this whole thing. It is a thing that you go through in life, and when you when you get into a relationship, it switches up a little bit, and you know, or you can still be in that phase as well, and then when you get married and all that stuff. But like, for me, back when I was in a relationship, if I had to wank, or I felt the urge to wank, the only person I would wank over would actually be my girlfriend at that time, because I was in such a deep relationship, and I'm thinking, oh, I really love this girl, oh, she's so amazing, she's so beautiful, and all that stuff. That's all I would like do you know what I mean? I wouldn't feel the need to watch porn because I'm with that person that I love, and I'm doing it out of the love for them. Do you know what I mean, Jay? It's like one of them ones. And obviously, when you break up and stuff, you go through your different patch, and you feel like, you know what, I'm with Bash, and you go into porn and stuff. But
so when you masturbated over your ex, was it with porn as well?
No, basically, like, for example, let's say, I don't give a shit anyway, but like, let's say we both jump on a video call and stuff like that as well. Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
and stuff like that. Or if I saw like a photo, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna have a quick one like over that and stuff. It would be like that. It wouldn't be with porn in the background, because I find it bare weird if I've got a photo of her and they just say all that stuff in the background. It wouldn't be like, it would just be purely with her and stuff. So
this begs another question, I think.
Yeah.
Is it okay to masturbate but not watch pornography?
Oh gosh, what concept, eh? I mean, oh god.
I would say, from personal experience, I think getting away from pornography altogether is a step in the right direction, and it's something that I, in the long term, want to do. abstaining from masturbating altogether
Yeah.
is extremely tough.
Oh, of course.
Extremely tough. But I think if you are going to do it,
Yeah.
do it without pornography, because then you're rewiring your brain. You don't have such a dependence on pornography to ejaculate.
But when you say that, what would you class as pornography? Is it just the explicit videos that you find on like Pornhub, or are you talking about also like hot model photos? I mean, hot model photos isn't really pornography, is it? Or even though it is giving out the sort of like you reckon, do you? Because it's giving out that explicit image and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And it goes
Makes
back to what I
sense.
said earlier about it being a gateway to porn.
Yeah.
And I speak on that from personal experience. I see a hot photo and I'm like,
yeah, oh, I need to do one over. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and I think I can speak for a lot of people as well when I say that.
Yeah,
a lot of people, because their mind is then just is switched on. They get horny when they see the photo, and they want to masturbate, and then they want to masturbate to pornography.
So now that you mentioned that, yeah, go on. You first.
No, go on. I was done.
No, I was going to say, so now that you mentioned that, let's say, for example, obviously, you're not doing it over porn, you're not doing it over any explicit photos. When you're masturbating, what would you be doing then? Would you be thinking about it, or would you be trying to visualize it? How would you go through that aspect then, if it's not going to be involving porn or any explicit photos or videos?
You would. Oh, sorry. You just broke up midway there, but I think I got the question anyway.
Okay.
I got the question.
Yeah.
That might come up weird on the video, but anyway. Yeah, the short answer is you'd just think about a situation. You'd let your imagination run
No,
free.
it's understandable. Yeah, visualization, because at the end of the day, you're trying to visualize you doing it in the first place. It's oh god, it's a big loop with this whole masturbation and like, pornography thing. But at the same time, yes, I get what you're saying.
And this is what the Coach Red Pill guy said as well. He said, if you masturbate, then yeah, sure, just let your mind run free and do it that way. That's, you're not hurting your brain or anything. But then there are people in the nofap community that would say that is also bad, because you're still objectifying women, and you're still kind of imagining unrealistic things, unrealistic positions maybe. But I think if I was someone giving advice to someone who's addicted to pornography and masturbation, I would say, like with many things, take baby steps and cut pornography out of your life, and still masturbate, but when you masturbate, have an image in your head. Because
definitely don't try and do it in like one chunk. Definitely don't run before you can walk, because like you're gonna think that you're doing a great job, and then before you know it, you're gonna have a little click, and you're gonna be like, oh shit, I really want to wank. Oh shit, I really want to masturbate. Oh shit, I really want to do this. And like, it's from our experiences, it has happened to us guys. Like, we have tried to do it before as well, obviously. And now, for me, in my aspect, I don't want to jinx it, but I think it's working, and I don't want to slip into that slide again. I mean, it's been, like I said, about 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks now, and I feel great, man. Like, the only thing I get tired of now is when I'm dealing with customers at work. That's it. I don't need to worry about waking up feeling stressed and like feeling dragged. But yes, definitely, like James said, guys, take it at your own pace, and don't put this massive strain on you thinking, oh, I'm definitely not going to wank today. I'm definitely not going to wank today. And then, because you don't know what could happen. You could be going out on the street, you see a really fit bird or guy, and then you get home and you have a visualization, and before you know it, you're locking your door. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just got to do it your own way. But that's a journey for you all.
Yeah, man. That's really good, Raf, man. Keep it up.
I'm trying, man.
But yeah, like it's mad again, because like what I said at the start of the podcast, I'm saying all these things about how good it is to abstain from both porn and masturbation, and yet I still do it, and I'm starting to write down the reasons of why I am doing it, even though I say to myself before, don't do it. And what I found is that when I'm on a streak, or even not on a streak, if I'm lying down on my bed chilling, I tend to get serious urges and tend to fail.
I see.
And which is annoying because I want to chill out and lie down in my bed.
yeah, I know. Okay, it's like it's some music and jam and that, yeah.
And there was one other thing as well. That's the main one anyway. And and obviously, if you peek at pornography, it's not going to help, and that image is going to stay in your head, and you're just screwed basically.
Yeah, I understand.
So, yeah, the advice I'm giving to myself is I don't know.
Wait, so how long has it been now then since you haven't done it?
Huh?
How long has it been now then since you haven't done it?
Mate, today. I had one today.
Okay. Well, you know what? Like you said, bro, just take it at your own pace. Literally.
Yeah. But like, I look back at the long streaks I had. I had
Yeah.
a 19-day one, which I mentioned earlier, and I've had a 17-day one as well.
Yeah.
And I then relapse.
Yeah. That's
I
the
relapse,
problem.
and I go back to day one, and then in my mind, I guess something's just telling me, oh, it's such a long back to where you just got to.
Yeah.
There's no point doing it. In fact, I know that's it. That's absolutely it.
Yeah.
It's purely mental. It's purely mental. We have to be so headstrong with this.
Yes, definitely.
And this is something I'll say. This is what I was going to say, which I forgot earlier, which is if you do fail, don't let it get to you. In fact, at the timing, now that we speak about this podcast, I'm going to start from today again. I want to hit a good streak.
There we go. So there, you lot have heard it now, yeah? It's Thursday the 5th of March. The next time I'm seeing James will be tomorrow.
The call, what's happened with the call? Oh, crap. Sorry, I think I just lagged out there momentarily, Raf. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay, cool. Right, my bad. Keep going.
No, so you've heard it first, people, yeah? Thursday the 5th of March. I'm seeing James tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have a full 24 hours at 10:25 p.m. for where he is.
You're going to be like, have you done it?
He's going to be like, he's going to look at me and I'm going to be like, oh shit. But yeah, we'll see. We will see.
Yeah, man. But I think this is a good place to finish, I think. Oh, yes. There was a stuff which in the intro, I said, does it prevent prostate cancer? But fucking, to be honest, I think we spoke quite a lot. I mean, I don't have the facts beside me. I don't have the freaking science to talk about it properly, to be honest. I won't lie.
Well, we can always do a part 2. We can always do a part 2.
It's a very deep topic. It is a deep topic. I'm sure there's a few things which I haven't spoken about. Anyway, maybe yourself as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I think this has been good. It's been good to talk about this as well. I feel like I now have someone, as in yourself, to kind of motivate me, and to keep me going on this journey. So yeah, it's good to get out there.
It's a good way forward. And I mean, you guys can have a chat with your friends and share your opinions about what you think about it as well, and let us know in the comments, of course.
Yes.
What you think about our thoughts, because we've
rambled. We've rambled a lot, but I think one of those topics where it is a rambling one, and you come to conclusions, like you said, Raf. So it's what it is, really. If
we can do it, you guys can do it. If you guys can do it, we can do it. It's just part of life, literally. But that's it. Yes, I think that is a very great way to finish off the podcast. You got anything to say, broski, before I hit us with the outro?
No, that's good, man. Go on, wrap it up.
Cool. Right, well, thanks as always, guys, for joining us. We're actually, you know what? It's a correction. There isn't 20 of you. There's 30 of you. So we just want to say a big thank you to all 30 of you tuning in. And we're going to keep going strong in 2020. We're going to try our best. And like we mentioned before, tell us what you guys think about masturbation. If you agree with it, disagree, your thoughts on it as well. As you all know, we have mentioned that we have got a website that is currently under construction. Jay, you got any comments to add to that?
Oh, mate, I've been horribly lazy with it. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. Like I said, baby steps. Yeah, it is. We will keep you guys updated. However, one piece of exciting thing, James has purchased a special piece of equipment that we're going to be utilising very soon to make public videos, so stay tuned for that. I'm probably going to have a chat with Jay after this call about that, or tomorrow as well. But yes, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave it a like, subscribe and share it with your mates. And as for the next topics, we're thinking about maybe talking about either our mobile phones if we use it too much. And I'm actually going to pitch another topic to Jay after this call, but you guys will have to stay tuned for that. And anything else, broski, before I kick us off?
That's it, mate. That's it.
Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Catch you next
Peace, guys. In a bit.
See ya.
See ya.